as all of you are dropping those thumbs ups in, automations can also be semi-autonomous or completely autonomous by nature. What does that mean? You could have automations where there is a little bit of manual effort required, or you could have automations where you can completely remove the manual effort. Absolutely. And today, in this session, we are not only going to be teaching you how to build automations, but we are actually going to go ahead and together build one entire automation scenario together without writing a single line of code. Now, while I say that you don't have to write a single line of code, you still need to learn a few foundational concepts for you to understand how these automations are getting built, and also how you can maintain these automations once they are built out. Without foundations, when you try to do something, you will end up breaking at some point or the other. And that is why at Outskill, we make sure that we always start by teaching the foundations. And that is why in this session today, you are going to be seeing us covering a little bit of foundational concepts that you need to know before you even go ahead and build automations, again without writing a single line of code. But let me be very, very honest, right? As we get started itself, for a lot of you, what you are going to be witnessing today, while it does not involve a single line of code, it still might look slightly complex or slightly overwhelming. However, the way we have planned this entire session and designed this entire session is to help all the beginners as well to get a glimpse of how these automations can be built. And that's why we have taken a use case today that literally relates to everybody. And we are going to be talking more about the use case as we get started as well. However, automations, if you are expecting that by the end of this session, you will be able to go ahead and build the entire workflow on your own, let me tell you, not everyone will be able to do it. And that is the reason why towards the end, I will again come back and share some resources with all of you that will help you practice. By the way, I already see a lot of people asking me about certificates, about certain resources from the day one and day two of the mastermind, and also about the recordings that I spoke about. I am not going to be clarifying any questions about any of these resources because yesterday I had clearly told you that we are going to be taking 48 hours to deliver everything, and 48 hours is not done yet. Whatever resources I spoke about yesterday will be delivered to your inboxes by tomorrow. I do not want anybody to sit in this call only for me to talk about the resources. I want you to attend this session so that you can learn. And as we all learn together, I do not want anybody to disturb the flow by asking about the resources from yesterday and to day before yesterday, because those are resources that you will all be getting by tomorrow. Is that clear? Give me a thumbs up if that is clear. Thumbs up if that is clear, that all the resources are some things that you will be getting by tomorrow and not today. Wonderful. I also want to ask all of you, drop in a me on the chat if you have gotten a chance to complete your homeworks. I, in fact, saw a lot of homeworks coming in. Lot of you have gone ahead and built some incredible portfolio websites, and a lot of you have gone ahead and built some incredible applications. I was looking through them, but to be honest, I've not been able to go through all of them yet. The work is still in progress, and all the people who have gone ahead, made a LinkedIn post about the product that you have built and submitted that back to us, you will be getting 25 credits from Emergent, but it is going to take 1 or 2 days because we are still having to validate all of the submissions that we have received. But all of you are absolutely killing it when it comes to execution. That is what I wanted to share with all of you. And with that being said, let's get started. Drop in a heart if you are excited to get started with the session on AI automations with all the context that I've said. Wonderful. And you saw a lot of hearts from me as well coming your way. On that note, Dilip, I would like to welcome you once again into the session to help people learn about AI automations.
Hey, Funny. Hi, folks. How are you all doing? I hope you had a very eye-opening week overall, right? You had an eye-opening week, and your conversations that you were doing is even better. Okay, awesome, awesome, very good, very good. All right, all right. So without doing any further ado, I would like to get started and try to build out and take up this session of automations. Okay, there you go. All right. So we are going to do automations using AI in this bonus session today. And sorry. And we just for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dilip. I'm the head of Gen AI education, and this is a little bit about me, right? And a disclaimer for all of you: it is impossible to cover every single hack that is possible in automation. So, but I will do my best to give you the most value and build a working automation right in front of you. Okay, so what is the automation that I will build? So your automation would look something like this. So this is the automation that we are going to build, this entire automation that we are going to build, and we are going to build this completely from scratch. I'm not going to use any template, anything right from scratch. I'm going to build this automation in front of you in today's session. Okay, so coming back. So I have a promise that, some places of today's session, you will be overwhelmed. Okay, sometimes you will be like this, right? Because it is a slightly more technical session than what you have seen previously. But if you stick through, if you are able to grasp the fundamentals and understand what's happening, you will be able to have this description where I'm going to show you what's possible overall. Okay. I'm going to show you what is completely possible with the help of the automations. And if you stick till the end, right, some bonuses which Funny will tell you about. I think most of the bonuses have already been given, but maybe if you stick towards the end, a last bonus on how this automation is done, etc., the notes of it, that could be shared. Okay, so every day we all perform many regular and ad hoc tasks like a working professional or a business owner, right? So, for example, in marketing management, we do the ideation, create the content, publish the content, generate leads, and do the reporting and analysis. And then we do the finance management where we do the invoice creation, accounting, payments, and do the stock update, etc. And then in sales management, you do the CRM management, leads allocation, nurturing, payment confirmation, product delivery, and a bunch of stuff. And then in business management, we do the communication, decision making, etc., all of that. So there are a bunch of things that we do which is repeatable in nature, and it will this repetitive work that you keep doing over and over again, it only takes a very few days to reach this state. So this is the state when you are like vexed up with that repetitive work that you keep doing over and over again, and you get completely frustrated with this. Yeah. So let me check in with you folks. Do you folks experience this anytime, this expression? Excuse me. Do you folks experience this expression any point in time? Okay, when you are working on boring work which is so repetitive in nature, it doesn't make any sense to do that. So what are the reasons for this? You have repetition that happens. You have, excuse me, it's a very low brainer. Your brain activity is very low when you're trying to do that. It's a very low value addition work, that in the sense that whatever work you're trying to do doesn't have too much of value, but still it is very important, and it takes a lot of effort and is absolutely time consuming. Sorry, folks, there's a little allergy I caught up while I'm doing this. Don't worry, it'll settle in time. So, what is the solution? How can you take this repetitive, boring work and kind of work through it? The solution is automation, and the automation is nothing but the process of using technology to perform tasks with minimal human intervention. If you are able to use technology to perform the task with minimal human intervention, that is automation. So, what automation can do for you? It can increase your productivity and efficiency, save time and efforts, help you scale with very less resources, increase your availability 24 by 7, and it is very robust with very less human interaction and very lot less errors overall. So, this is what automation can do for you. Out of all the types of automation that exist, what automation are we talking about today? The first automation that exists is a robotic process automation, which is on the vehicle assembly, the marketing, manufacturing plants, the packaging plants, etc. So that is the robotic process automation that exists overall. Second is the computer physical task automation, where you have the manual data entry, the data scraping, and the form filling that gets done. And then you have the software task automation, where if you are using a software, you can do the automation. And that automation with respect to software is what we are going to see today in detail. So there are three worlds that exist. First was the manual world, where you had ledgers, registers, books, wherein you recorded all the data and information. Then you move to the second world, where you had a laptop, but you were actually entering the data and processing the data with a lot of your intervention. Then in the first world, where software is kind of working with other softwares, and we are on the transition phase from the second world to the first world. And in today's session, I will show you how this transition would look like from the second world to the first world. So how do you think a software controls and works with another software? How do you think you can use a software and make it work with another software? So the answer is APIs, or application programming interface. Now I know that a lot of you, when you see the term APIs, you kind of feel, oh my God, it's so technical. How can I understand it? So let me simplify the concept of API for you so that you understand what it is with an analogy or an example. Let us assume that there are two people in the scenario. One is you and another is a restaurant. Okay, and let us assume this restaurant does not exist on Zomato, Swiggy, or any of the food delivery platforms out there. The only way you can contact is make a call to the restaurant. Okay, so you make the call to the restaurant first and you ask for menu. Okay, then the restaurant responds and sends you the menu via WhatsApp or some other medium where you are available to check. You check the menu and then you place an order. Let us assume you place an order for noodles with some veg Manchurian, right? So once you place the order for noodles and veg Manchurian, then the restaurant kind of confirms your order and says that the order has started prepared. Then you kind of, it sends the bill to you, confirms and sends the bill. You pay the bill, which is the authentication you are doing to ensure that, you say that you have paid for the food, and then the restaurant says, order has started preparing. Okay. Then when the order is prepared, you kind of, if you want, you can call for checking the status of the order, and the restaurant will again give you the response that it will take some 15 to 20 minutes, etc. Then another conversation you could have is you want to add an extra spring rolls. You want to add a spring roll to the order. The restaurant acknowledges and again sends you the extra bill. Then, for some reason, you got the food, but you did not like the food for something. You say, I want to cancel the order. The food was very bad. And the restaurant, because you're a long time customer, apologizes and gives you the refund. Okay, so this is a typical conversation that keeps happening between you and the restaurant. And think of this, the first conversation you are having like a request, and the second answer you are getting as a response. So there's a request response type of conversation that keeps happening between you and the restaurant. Now, all you have to imagine is, let us assume that you are software one, the restaurant is software two. The conversation between you and the restaurant is happening via API. The conversations that happen between you and the restaurant are happening via API, and that is the request and response that keeps happening between the restaurant. So here in this case, you are asking information that the restaurant already has. So you call it a get type of API request. Okay, where you are getting the information the restaurant already has. When you are placing a new order, right, you are putting a new order, so you are calling it a post request. Okay, it's a kind of request where you are putting in a new order. When you are updating a given order, right, the update of the order that you are trying to do, it is like a put request where you are updating the existing order. When you are canceling your order, that is like a delete request where you are canceling the order and you are trying to get refund for your money. So let us assume that you and restaurant are two softwares. Anytime there is a request and response, that together becomes like one API call. So one set of conversation, a request with the response is one API call. When you are asking the restaurant information, it already has, that is the get API request. When you are putting in a new order, it's a post request. When you're updating the order, it is the update or put request, and we're canceling the order, it's a delete request. Let us assume that a restaurant has a ledger book, okay, that tracks all the information. So when you're asking for menu, the menu is already present in the ledger. So it is like just reading the ledger for information. When you're placing a new order, the new order has to be noted in the ledger. So that's why it is post or writing a new information. When you are adding an additional order, it is update. So updating the existing information. And when you're saying cancel the order, whatever order you have placed, you are canceling. So that is deleting the information. So now this ledger that you have, you can think of it like a database of software two. So software one is kind of querying information of software two and ensuring that these operations happen. Okay. So when you're thinking about API, application programming interface, think about this conversation that you are having with yourself and the restaurant. You ask a question, the restaurant gives a response. There is a request response, which together makes one API call. So first you have the get API call, then you have the post API call, then you have the put API call, and then you have the delete API call. So these are the different API calls that exist for you. Okay, so folks, just a quick pulse check. Did you understand the concept of APIs? Do you guys get a very directional understanding of the concept of API? Okay, This is just for a directional understanding. Now, don't try to confuse yourself by saying, okay, in this case, what is paying the bill mean? What is other things mean, etc. Don't worry about all of that. For now, just assume that you are placing an order or you are doing some events on your application, and all of that is facilitated by the API requests. Okay, so API request kind of manages the communication between two softwares, and this is the mechanism by which you are able to communicate with software. So for automations to work, software connecting with any software, APIs are important, and this is how the communication kind of happens. So now how do you further work with it? Okay, so we APIs can do with software. I just explained that you can create a record, which is the post method, which is like placing an order. You can retrieve or search a record, which is the get method, which is extracting the details of any record from the software. Then you update a record, which is like known as the put or update method, and then you have delete the record overall. Okay. Now, where can you find APIs for your software? How do you find APIs? Okay. So let me show you that also. So if you are looking at some API like OpenAI API, so you can actually explore the resources with respect to the OpenAI API. So how do I read and generate text? So this is telling me how do I work with a particular API overall. So if I'm using this command like response equal to something, this is how I am choosing the APIs. Okay, don't have to worry about this. We will not go into detail, but I'm just showing you that what are APIs, how do they look like. This is like an API. And here you see, right, this post request is present. Then these are all the things that you will have to set it up for the API to work. But you don't have to worry about this right away because our software, right, our orchestration system will work with it. Now, let me show you in real life how, uh, you know, how this API would typically work. Okay. Just give me a second. I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, sorry about that. Just my allergies a little flared up. Okay. So now we will try to understand how you can apply this API. For that, we can go to inspect, and then you can go to this particular place of called network, and you can look at this. Now let me search for a query like I can search for a query like OpenAI, etc. And when I search, you can see there are multiple API calls which are happening. There is multiple API calls which are happening. And this is an example of an API call. As you can see, this is an example of an API call that can be used. Okay, so you can check multiple. You can check multiple API calls over here, as you can see. Okay, like you have the get async data and a bunch of stuff. So you have this multiple API calls that you can see. And if you, sorry, if you do any operation overall, the API calls are the API calls are made to kind of get that. Funny, can you just engage for 5 minutes? I'll just
Yeah,
add
yeah,
my.
yeah. I'll just do that while you can take some water and come back. Folks, are you all, fundamentally, of course, we have not gone very deep into APIs yet, but are you fundamentally understanding, what an API key is? Or I can give you a quick recap of what an API key is if you have not gotten it completely. Perfect. Perfect. Seems like a lot of people have gotten it, but I do see a few messages on the chat about a recap of what API keys are all about. So the example that Dilip had taken, which I absolutely loved, the analogy that Dilip had explained it with is basically, before you even think of API like a technical term, assume it this way, right? Let's say you have gone to a restaurant and you have ordered something. Now, do you really go into the kitchen and make your order? No, you pass on the order through a waiter, and the waiter takes the order from you, goes to the kitchen to the chef, gives that order, takes whatever the chef gives back, comes back to you and delivers, right? So the waiter here is acting like a bridge between you and the chef, right? Did everyone understand that? Give me a thumbs up if everyone understood the role of a waiter inside a restaurant. Perfect. Now, that is exactly what happens between digital applications as well. Let us say you send an email on Gmail, right? In fact, I can actually show you what Dilip was showing here as well by sharing my screen. Let me open up a very simple, and this does not only depend. This does not only fit in for Gmail. This is how everything on your browser really works. Let me share my screen and show you what I'm really talking about. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is our Gmail screen, right? And I'm sure everyone, has whatever it is. It's Gmail is something that I'm taking as an example because I'm sure all of you are well versed with what a Gmail window looks like. Now here, I obviously have a lot of emails that have come in, and let's say I open any specific email, right? All of this that we are seeing is the front end or the UI of the entire application, which is Gmail. This front end and UI allows us to do a bunch of things. It allows us to go ahead and read emails. It allows us to go ahead and compose emails. It allows us to go into our starred inbox or our sent inbox or our drafts inbox and all of that. But as this is happening, what you need to understand is that there is a lot happening at the back end, because of which you are actually able to go ahead and open this email, because of which you are, when you click on compose, this new pop-up comes up because of what is happening on the back end. Now, generally when we use these applications and tools, and the same is the case with, let's say, Google as well, when you go into Google and when you do a search, or when you go into any of these search results that come up, what we are using is the front end or the user interface, and the user interface has been designed in a way that all of us can understand what we are doing and use these interfaces in a very seamless way. But what we don't see on an everyday level is the backend. And how do you access the backend? This is not something that you need to do every time, but the tech folks on the call would really understand what I'm saying, right? You can right click, it works on Windows and it works on Mac as well, and you go into this option called inspect. Now, when you go into this option called inspect, you will end up seeing that Give me a second. I'll arrange the screen so that you can see what I'm showing. Yeah. When you click on inspect, right, you will see this kind of a dashboard opening up on the side and you can expand this. Now, over here, you have multiple blocks that you can really go into. And when you go into the network tab over here, as you do something on your Gmail, now let's say I'm on the home screen of Gmail and you can see that there are a bunch of calls that are being taken place, right? And these are all API calls that are essentially being called at this particular time. Now, when I go into, let's say, one email, you will see that a lot of API calls here are changing as I click on it. Let me show that to you in a clearer way so that you can see the API calls being called. There you go. So every action that you basically take on any application, when you go into the inspect tab, you will be able to see what are the API calls that are being called, right? Let's say you click on compose and you type an email, you will be able to see that a lot of new APIs are being called at this particular time. And this is the interface that a lot of techies also use to be able to understand how a particular interface is communicating with another digital application or another interface, right? And whenever there is any API call that ends up failing, you can understand that from the inspect tab. But that is not why we are covering this at this point of time. The reason why we have included this here is because as you build your automations, you will also have to call a lot of API connections, right? And that is how you will make your applications talk to AI models as well. And when we get into that, you will start seeing that happening, and you will also see how we can integrate the API key of an AI model. Let's say ChatGPT is something that we have seen and used quite a lot in this mastermind as well, and you would have used it beyond of this mastermind as well. But you need to also know that ChatGPT also has an API key that you can use to have any other application talk to ChatGPT whenever it wants to without you having to go ahead and talk to it. Did you all understand that? Did you all understand the role that the API key is basically playing? It is the waiter between your AI model and between your, let's say, workflow or application. Okay. Dilip, I just ran them through what you had already explained.
Cool. So thankfully, my allergy is kind of settled. So let me come back. And there you go. This is exactly what Funny has explained so far. And if you kind of go for this semicolon type stuff, right, those are all API calls that you can see. So when I write something like explain large language models, like I am 5 years old, keep an eye on the right hand side. When I wait, why is it? Okay. Okay, when you look at it, it is here all the API keys are kind of present and you are able to use it the way you want. Okay, so this is the reason why you can use it however you want, and these are important ways to kind of use this entire thing. Coming back. So this is typically how APIs look like. You don't have to worry about it right now. As you go deeper and deeper, you can check it out. For tech folks, you already know. Non-tech folks, if you are interested, you can look at any API documentation. You will get to know what they look like. But for the purpose of automation understanding, you don't need that. Okay. So what are the things that can be automated? Things that are software based, which have a repetitive process and are predefined steps, rules, conditions, and logics. Those can be automated very well. And what cannot be automated, those are things that require ad hoc human decision making, and these are software based and there are no APIs available. So if something is software based, it has an API, you can automate that very easily. But if there is some software that is used but does not have APIs, you cannot automate. And if you require human decision making, you cannot completely automate this task. So how do you work with APIs to automate? Earlier, it was only the domain of programmers who could use APIs to build applications. But now, with the advent of low code and no code platforms, you are able to use platforms like Make, N8N, and Zapier to actually do your automations. So, our focus for today is make.com, where we are going to kind of build this complete automation. We are using Make for today because it is lower cost, less expensive than Zapier, visual automation builder, and it is quite reliable. Okay, so the next 1 hour or so, we are going to build out this automation. Before you build the automation, one thing you need to understand is you have to have the flowchart with the step and logic absolutely clear in your mind. Create a list of all the softwares that are involved in the process, and then you should look at the API's access and start connecting them. All right. So now let us jump onto the practical session. The theory is out of the way. So first, what I'll do is I will explain to you the logic of the automation that we are trying to build. Okay. And the logic goes something like this. So I am going to build a content automation system, and this is an extension of what Vaibhav had built in this session. So Vaibhav had, kind of built this system wherein you got a prompt that can write in your voice. Now, if I want to set up a full-fledged content production system around it, what are my steps? Step one, I choose the topic, on which topic I want to write this overall, and I maintain all my topics in a Google Sheet so that it is easy for me to track. So I maintain my topics in the Google Sheet. Then each topic one by one, I will copy and put it into OpenAI/ChatGPT. Okay, along with this prompt, the prompt that I have, which can write in my own voice. So that prompt, I put it and I get the post draft. Then what I do is I manually review the post draft. Okay. Then what I do is I generate an image that can accompany the post. And the image generation, I can do it in OpenAI or ChatGPT itself. Then finally, this image, I will put it in Google Drive. So I will put this Google Drive, the particular image, because I need to store all of my inventory in one place. So I will store it in Google Drive. Then this image plus the post, I will put it on LinkedIn. Okay. And then finally, I will mark that the post has been published. Okay, so I need to have this level of clarity in the steps if I have to build automations. If you don't have this level of clarity, what will happen is you will fail when you're trying to build an automation. Okay, now let us quickly look at the softwares needed. You have Google Sheet, you have OpenAI, that is ChatGPT, then you have Google Drive, and you have LinkedIn. Okay, so these are the 4 softwares that I will require to kind of do this. So folks, quick check. Have you understood the automation that we are trying to build? Do you understand the steps of the automation that we are trying to build? Yes? Okay, awesome. Folks, you have to be alert. I will explain. And if I see that 80% of the folks are following this, I am not going to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. All right. So now with these steps that I am in, I will now try to build out this automation from scratch. So we are away from the theory and now it's all practical application. Now to build this complete application, I will need to run this automation from a control center. Okay, I need a control center from which I run this automation. And this control center, I will use my Google spreadsheet to kind of do that. Okay, so I will run my entire automation from here. Okay, and to run the automation, what are the things that I require? One column is the post idea. So any of the post idea that I want to put, I'll put it in column A. Then if I have to get the LinkedIn draft, I can put it in column B. Then what I'll do is if I want to extend the automation for Facebook, I can use the Facebook draft. So I'll put the Facebook draft over here. So post area, LinkedIn draft, paste Facebook draft. Then I will set up something called I will set up something called image link, which is the image that I'm creating. So that image link I will put over here. And then this is the most important column called control. And I will talk about control and channel. Okay. So control is nothing but it is a place wherein I look at the complete life cycle of my post. So what are the steps required when I'm doing the post? First step is when I give the idea, it should prepare content. Okay. When I do the idea, it should prepare the content. Then when the content is ready, it should be ready for review. So once I prepare the content, it should be ready for review. So that is the next status I'll require. Once it is done, I have to post content on LinkedIn. Okay. And once it is ready, I will say post successful, which is like telling that the post has been successfully posted on LinkedIn. So this is the control elements. Stage one, prepare content. Once my content draft is ready, I will say the stage should move to ready for review. In the ready for review, I'll come in, I'll make some edits to the draft, and then I say post content. And when I say post content, the content should automatically get posted onto LinkedIn. Okay, so right now I will do a semi-automation because we are going to build it step by step. I'll also show you how to I completely automate this process. Okay, so this is my stages. For that, what I'll do is I'll go to data and I'll say data validation, add rule, and for post prepare content, I'll put maroon. Post successful, I'll say green. Then post content pink. Ready for review will be blue. Okay. So I have done this. I can remove the rest of the ones. Channel, I can use any channel. So for now, I'm going to work only on LinkedIn. Later, I will extend it to other channels also. Okay, so this is the thing. And what is the post idea I want to get started with? I can say the same post idea maybe we saw, which is AI can take away jobs. Okay, AI can take away jobs. That is the post idea. And I have put up my LinkedIn draft is blank, Facebook is blank, image link is blank. The control is prepare content. So whenever it sees the stage of prepare content, it should actually, kind of prepare the content on LinkedIn. So we have all the basic ingredients ready. All right. Now I go to social things. I'll go to scenarios. All right. And I will say create a scenario. So I am going to create a scenario and I'm going to start off with. Okay. So we have a blank slate. We have a sheet with which we are working and we can start working on the same sheet. So for that, what we'll do is first we'll need to use Google Sheets because that is where I am checking. And in Google Sheets, I will use the operation search rows because I am searching for a row which meets a particular criteria. So I am using the tools outskill connection. So I can add that particular connection. So whenever you want to add a connection, if you have a Google workspace, you just have to sign in with Google. If it is a personal account that you want to connect, so you should go for Gmail personal make integration. Okay, and it will give you a bunch of steps that you will have to do to ensure that for your personal accounts, Gmail is enabled. Okay, it is not so straightforward, but you can try, you can check it out. And if you go step by step, it is fairly simple. So now coming back over here, so I have my Google connection already established. It is as simple as signing in with my Google credentials, and this is set up. Now I need to get my spreadsheet ID. So if in case you are worried that you don't know your spreadsheet ID, very simple, go to LLM, paste the URL and say, get me the spreadsheet ID. Okay, so it has given me the exact spreadsheet ID. I can copy, go here, and I will, instead of going in this particular manner, what I will do is I will say select from all. I can copy the spreadsheet ID. Now it is going to check if I have the permissions to work on the spreadsheet or not. I have the permission because it's the same account I'm using. And the sheet name, you look here, there are two sheets, live sheet 2. It has given me those two sheets, so I can choose live sheet 2. Okay, and then I can set up the filter, like what are those rows in my sheet that I need to get. Okay, so the rows in the sheet that I need to get are for two conditions. One is if control. Okay, and what are those things? You have to be exact word. Control is prepare content or control is post content. Okay, prepare content or post content. So I will say control is prepare content, or rule, I will say control is post content, and I will say. Okay, now how do I know if this node is perfectly working or not? I just run it once. And there you go. It has given me the output saying post idea, AI can take away jobs, LinkedIn draft is blank, Facebook draft is blank, image link is empty, and the control is prepare content, channel is LinkedIn. Okay. So my sheet I have connected in make.com, and I have gotten the content of the sheet into my make environment without actually copying content from there. Okay, folks, this is the first node that we have connected, and automation is all about connecting one node after another. Did we get a basic idea of what we are doing, how we have started the first node, how we set up the operating system? All of that is clear. Okay, it is slightly complicated. You have to follow the steps very closely. Okay, now for pay attention as to how I connect the output of this module to the input of another module. Okay, now I want to, in my process, I took the post idea and I created the post using ChatGPT. So I have to use OpenAI, click OpenAI, and I create what is a completion prompt. Okay, and in the completion prompt, I have to again do the connection. I have my connection already established, but if you want to establish your connection in add, you will have to put the API key of OpenAI. Okay, and if you don't have your API key, Make also has its own toolkit. Okay, so you can use it yourself. In case you are still like confused how to get API key, etc., go to your LLM. There you can click web search. Web search is clicked, and you can ask a question: how do I get my OpenAI API key? And I say I am a non-technical person. Give me detailed steps. Okay, and your LLM itself will give you all of those detailed steps that you require. Okay, so this is how it works. So now the model, I will use an older model because it is cheaper. So I will use the GPT 4.1 mini right now. It is decent enough for my thing. Now I have to add my prompt over here. And here suddenly it is giving me some new terms like system, user, assistant, tool, etc. So typically when you're working with the prompts, you have to use a system prompt and the user prompt. Don't have to worry what is the system prompt and user prompt right away. You have the LLM to help. So what I'll do is I will copy the prompt. This is the same prompt that you get by feeding your posts and asking the model to kind of examine it and give the prompt that writes in your own style. Now I will add an addendum. I want to actually use this prompt in automation system at Make. So break it down into a system prompt and user prompt that I can use so that it can get us input a topic and create a LinkedIn post with that topic. Okay. And there you go. I gave my prompt and I said, I want to use this in an automation system. So it is giving me the system prompt and user prompt right away. All right. So what I'll do is I will copy this system prompt for now first, and I'll go to make.com. I will choose system and I will paste my prompt. Okay. So I have my prompt that I have pasted, which is the system prompt. Now I will put the user prompt, go back here and say, write a LinkedIn post about this. I will paste it. I will remove this part. And this part, right, where I said, write a LinkedIn post about what I should write about, I should write about the post idea which I've put in my sheet. So I click the post idea, okay, and I save. I have to save multiple times. So the number should go, then only you know that it has become ready. So now I will run this. So when I run now, it will first get the information from the sheet. The information from the sheet will be passed to OpenAI to kind of create that LinkedIn post. So now from the sheet, the information is pulled. Now that using that topic, my LinkedIn post is getting made. And here you can see input, it has given a bunch of things overall. And you can actually see the content, write a LinkedIn post about AI can take away jobs. Okay, that is the input. Now the output, if you open the result, AI will take away jobs. Are you ready? Here is how to win, not to lose. And this is the complete post that it has built for me. All right. So this is how now building your complex automation is just chaining one node after another and keep building the stuff. Okay, folks, are you clear with what we have done so far? Everybody following, understanding how you connect nodes and taking input to the output overall? Yeah. For those who are unable to follow, at least understand what we are trying to do, right? It will take time for you to come, absorb it properly. It's a slightly complex topic with a learning curve. Now, I want to also create an image along with this post that I'm trying to do. Okay, I want to create a dynamic image. For that, I want a dynamic image prompt. So there, what I'll do is I will add another module, which will now create the image prompt based on the output. Okay, so I will use the same GPT 4.1 mini. Again, I need to give the system and the user prompt. Here, I'll go back to the LLM again and say, now based on the post that has been produced, I want to create an image prompt that can be a suitable image to accompany that post. Give me in the same style the system prompt and user prompt that can make the image prompt that I need. So based on the post that is generated, I will now create my image prompt. Okay. Now that image prompt that I generate, I will create the image. So it is giving me a system prompt saying that you are an expert visual content strategist, where your philosophy is this, etc., and all that. I don't really need to worry about this, but for now, I'll just copy this. Okay, I will copy this and I will put it in the system prompt. Okay, now I will need to put my user prompt. And what's my user prompt? Based on this LinkedIn post, create a image generation prompt. I'll copy. And where is my LinkedIn post? My LinkedIn post is here. When I click it, it will come and now I can save. Okay. So based on the previous post that is created over here, my image prompt will be created. Now, after I create my image prompt, I'll have to create my image. So for that, again, OpenAI. Here, instead of the previous ones, I will say generate an image. Okay, just pull it a little bit apart. And the model I'll use is GPT prompt, and I will use the result from the previous module and save. Now, where should I put this image? I will put it into Google Drive. So I will go to Google Drive. Now that Google Drive, whatever file it kind of generates, I'll have to upload it onto my Google Drive. So I will upload the file onto Google Drive. And for the tools, I will go to Tools Outskill. Okay, refresh. Maybe save it and do it. Yeah, now it's working. Now the folder, I will select from the list because very few folders are there. And I have a folder called Make Experiments. I will choose that and I will save. I will save. So this is the folder with my Make Experiments overall. Okay. So this is all done. All right. Now, the final thing I'll have to do is I will have to do some bookkeeping. What I mean is, since I've done all of this process, the fruits of the labor of this particular process, I'll have to add it back to the Google Sheet. Okay, because I need to put my LinkedIn draft, the image link also, right? And change this. So that portions I'll have to do. And for that, what I'll do is I will add Google Sheet. Here, I will use update a row. There it was searching the row because I was putting information. Here, I'll say update a row because I am updating the information. So I'll update the row. Again, this is fine. I will say enter manually. And now this is the intelligent part you should remember. Instead of adding all the details, I have my first spreadsheet already available. I will use the variables from there directly. So instead of spreadsheet ID, I will use the same spreadsheet ID. Sheet name, I will use the same sheet name. Row number, I will use the same row number. Column range, I will say A to Z. And now I have to put the values on the columns. So column B is the LinkedIn draft. So the draft of LinkedIn has to come here. So what it means is the result which has come here will come to the column B. Then the Google Drive image that has to come, the Google Drive image link that has to come, it will come from Google Drive. So I open Google Drive and I have this file ID variable. I can click it and it comes. Control has to be changed to ready for review and save it. Okay. So now my control, which is over here, I have to put ready for review and I can use it. So it is all now working very well. Okay. So let's set it up, and always a good idea to keep saving. Okay, my scenario is saved, and yeah. Moment of truth, folks. One full cycle of creating the LinkedIn post draft and generating the image is what we are going to test right now. Okay, so let me run this and then I'll quickly recap what we have done. So I have set up my complete content operating system from here, okay, where I put the columns like post idea, LinkedIn draft, Facebook draft, image link, control, etc. Then I have connected it to my Google Sheet, OpenAI, so that it can take the post idea and then prepare the draft using the prompt. And that prompts I have further divided using Claude into system prompt and the user prompt. Then I used it to kind of create an image prompt that can be used along with the post. Then that image prompt is used inside the generate an image module, which will now generate the image. This is the slowest step of the process. So this is the part you will have to be a little patient when it is running. So now we will wait for the image to be done. And once the image is done, it will get uploaded onto this folder on my Google Drive. And then once it gets uploaded onto the Google Drive, it will then update my Google Sheet with the draft of the LinkedIn post, the image link, as well as saying that the prepare content is done. Now it is ready for review. Okay, let's give it a few more seconds. And if you want to see the image prompt, you can click here. And this is the image prompt, minimum abstract illustration, etc. And there you go, our entire thing is complete. So let me first look at the image prompt. Minimalist abstract illustration of a human silhouette and a sleek robotic arm intertwining at the center, symbolizing collaboration and hybrid roles. Now, this is a prompt I did not write. It is something AI itself wrote based on the LinkedIn post it generated based on the topic I have given. Okay, so it is like chaining things together. So let us check the photo first. So it has given the photo adapt, reskill, thrive, automate, which is like a great way. And I like the imagery of a human hand working with a robotic arm together. Very nice imagery it has come across. And then onto my spreadsheet, the draft is here, the image link is here, and control is also ready, saying that it is ready for review. All right, so I can make some minor edits. I'll just remove these parts, the minor edits, and I'll keep it. Now I will change it to post content because I have reviewed it. I have seen what needs to be done. Okay, and now I will say post content correctly. Okay, so now the next automation part we will build, it will take this content and post it on LinkedIn. Now we have a problem. Here, so far, so good that I could do it in a single linear path. But there you see, if it is prepare content, I need to prepare the content. If it is post content, I need to take the content already present in the row and post it on LinkedIn. So there is a if then else kind of a conundrum that we are facing. And in automations, wherever you want to set up a filter or a if else condition, you add what is called a router. Okay, so I'm going to add a router over here and add a different batch. So I'll just put this up. All right. And then this router will be based on conditions. Okay, what is the condition? I'll set up the filter and I will call this prepare content, and the condition is control E equals prepare content. So if the row contains the line prepare content, then this path will be taken. And here I will say post content if control contains post content. You will see the previous results only because the updated results have not been extracted by this module yet. Okay, so I will save right now. Now, when post content has to be done, first thing is I need to download the image from my Google Drive. So I will say download a file. Now again, I have to change my connection. And which file do I have to download? I have to enter my file ID, and my file ID is present in image link, which I can add it right now. Okay. And once it is done, I will have to put the post and the image on LinkedIn. So I will go to LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, I will say create an image user image post. And this LinkedIn connection also, you will have to log in with your credentials, and then the LinkedIn connection is established. And the content is present in your Google Sheet, which is on the LinkedIn post draft. So LinkedIn post draft has your content. Image is coming from Google Drive, and you can say save. Now what you have to do, you have to update your Google Sheet. Okay. So I go to Google Sheet, update a row. Okay. And I will say enter manually. And the spreadsheet again, I will use the same spreadsheet like before. So I will take the spreadsheet ID. I will take the sheet name. I will take the row number, and I'll take the column range. Whatever I have to update, my update has to be on control should become post successful. My control should become post successful. Okay. And control is E, where I will say post successful. Okay. Now I will save. Okay. So now my entire LinkedIn automation system is ready. Now this posts onto my LinkedIn, but I have kept a script which auto deletes a lot of the posts, and sometimes I manually delete them because the process of how I create the post is slightly different, and therefore I don't really do that. But folks who want to kind of quickly check out anything, you can look at my LinkedIn. All right. And now moment of truth. Okay. Fingers crossed. I will run. So Google Spreadsheets is running to retrieve the row. Now it is going to the posting the content, download the drive. It has posted. And on the sheet, if you see, post is successful. Okay. And then when you come to LinkedIn, and I will simply refresh, it should come now. It sometimes takes a little bit of time, or my auto delete would have already started working. Okay, I think my auto delete has already started working. Content is already posted. Okay, so it is showing that everything has been posted. So let's give it a little more time. Let me, I think the auto delete functionality has already played its role. So my content, I told you, right, I have an auto delete script for some conditions. I turned it on. So I think it has picked it up already. Let me just refresh it once again. Yeah, there you go. I think the auto delete functionality is working. That's why you're not able to see. But rest assured that your LinkedIn automation is working because everything here has kind of worked. Okay. Everything works. I'm just doing a double check. Yeah. I think LinkedIn has a problem. It is saying 0 followers and all that. So no need to worry about it. Yeah, all right. Nothing to worry. I think LinkedIn is facing some glitches. So we will allow it to be as is. All right. So, folks, how are we feeling so far? You saw a proper social media automation system being built right in front of you. Okay. For some people, it might be overwhelming and a little confused, but don't worry. It is it will work very well when you're trying to build it overall. Okay. So now that I have done it for LinkedIn, let us suppose you have got another client. Like for Facebook, you are working on a recipe page. Okay. And suppose somebody else tells that I want you to, work on this kind of a page and automate content generation system over here. Okay, so if you want to do that content auto generation system over here, that's when you will have to use the automation in this particular manner. So now, how do I extend this automation so that it can work for Facebook? Here, I will go a little bit faster, but don't worry, you should be able to follow what is happening. The only difference I will do is I will go to the sheet. I will delete it right now, all the things. Okay. So here AI will take away jobs, and my second post I will give say recipe for veg pasta. Okay. I said recipe for veg pasta. Then control, I will put both as prepare content for now so that I can demonstrate it to you. And channel here, I will put Facebook. Okay, so now I will retrieve all the rows where the channel is LinkedIn or Facebook. If it is LinkedIn, it will go on another path. If it is Facebook, it will go on another path. So that is how I set it up. Okay, so I go over here. All right, and then what I do, I will copy this complete automation right now. Okay, I copy this and I paste it. Okay, I pasted this. Now what I'll do is I will add a uh, router over here and I'll connect this router to this. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will make some changes on this. Number one, this automation which is now on control, I will actually change it to channel. If the channel is called LinkedIn or the channel is Facebook. Okay. So any row that is marked LinkedIn or Facebook, it will retrieve the rows. Here I have to set up filters where I will set up one filter wherein I will say this is LinkedIn, where the condition is that channel is LinkedIn, save. Here set up a filter, channel is Facebook, channel is Facebook, save. So what happens is when the channel is LinkedIn, the LinkedIn path gets activated. When the channel is Facebook, the Facebook path gets activated. From here on, it will go into prepare content and post content as needed. It will go on to prepare content and post content absolutely as needed. Okay, so this is all set. Now I have to make a few changes over here. Okay, because this one is based on LinkedIn, so I'll have to change it to Facebook. All right, so for that, what I'll do is I will go here and I say, for my make automation, I have got another client who uses Facebook pages to do their automation. So can you give me like a system prompt and user prompt for content given a topic and how to generate the image based on the previous topic. Give me the system prompt and user prompt that I can copy and put it in my system. Facebook. So now I'm recreating the prompts for my voice required for Facebook. So Facebook post generation, it is giving me the system prompt using my same voice that I had for LinkedIn. And similarly, it will give it for the user prompt for the image. So I have to make those changes as I build it. Okay, so I'll copy the system prompt first. And where do I do? Here. So you have your user prompt, right? Instead of this, I will put my system prompt and then user prompt, write a Facebook post about. Okay, the topic is same, post idea. Right? Now, similarly, I will create it for the image generation also. And the result is actually coming from the previous one itself. So this is the result that I can say. All right, this part is fine. It is exactly the same. The result will be used. Then uploading the file is also fine. On Google Sheets is where you'll have to make a small change. The result that you are putting, it has to come in C, this thing, because it is the Facebook draft column that your result has to come. So I will put the result in the Facebook draft column. So the result will come in this particular column. Rest all is fine. Okay. Now what I'll do is I will have to remove this module. Okay. And I'll add a module on Facebook, which is a Facebook pages. I go to Facebook pages and I'll say create a page post with photos. So it has connected. The page is this. And the photos, if you see, it is coming from here. And the message is the Facebook draft. I will save, just double save it to be sure. Then I go here, spreadsheet, sheet, root number, etc. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. It is same as before. Now I can save. Okay. Now, as I have promised, the multi-complex automation system, right, that we wanted to build is now ready. Final checks. Always important, do a checks overall. So this is LinkedIn and Facebook. Yes, LinkedIn and Facebook. My filters are ready. Over here, filters are there. Here also filters are there. Everything is proper. Okay. Now I can set this up the way I want. Now I will run it and show you how the drafts kind of come over here for a multi-system. Okay. Let's run it once. So as it is running, a quick primer on what we had done. We first built a content automation system for LinkedIn, where on if it is prepare content, it will use multiple OpenAI nodes to prepare the content, generate the image, upload it to Google Drive, and then update my Google Sheets. Then if it is post content, it is going to post the content on LinkedIn and say that the Google Sheet is updated saying that the post is successful. Okay, now LinkedIn content generation is done. Facebook content generation is in progress. So for Facebook, it has picked up the topic. What topic it has picked up? If you look at it, the topic it has picked up is write a Facebook post about recipe for veg pasta. So pasta veg recipe post it has written. And if you look at it, this is the completion. Oh, sorry, the post is here only in the result where this veg pasta recipe might change. It has given me a veg pasta recipe. Then it has given me an image prompt. Okay. And then it is going to create me the image also. So once it is done, I will show you two on the spreadsheet as to how exactly it is working. And there you go. On the sheet, if you see, both the ones are available. Okay, it was supposed to come here. It came here actually. Okay, let me check the sheet. I think that part did not work. So in the update row, ah, I remember changing it, but I don't know why it did not change. Anyway, it is fine. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll only run it for Facebook just so that it is ready. It is still going to prepare content only. I don't know why. Stop it. So let me see what is the issue. AI can take away jobs ready for review, and it is properly following over here. This is fine. Okay, this label I think has not worked properly. So I'll say prepare content and I'll say control is save. Yeah. All right. So now this is ready. This also should be fine. So there is some errors which happened because I clearly saved it, but still it did not pick it up. So you have to be a little cognizant of this and stop it whenever required. Okay, so let me pick this up. Right, so it tried here, but because the stage was not there, it is now directly building it for Facebook only. All right, I think it is ready now. You can check. Yeah, there you go. It is now ready. Now I will say this post content. I have now changed it to post content because I like it as it is. And we can check this automation out. All right, so I will say run again. It's gotten it. So now it is creating it on my Facebook page. Let us hope this automation, this also I kept auto delete, but hopefully this one should work better. So let me check. Here it is saying post is successful. I'll refresh this and there you go. Ever tried cooking a meal that looks fancy but takes less than 20 minutes? The complete recipe along with the picture that I have used, it has now come onto Facebook. Okay, it will get auto deleted very soon, but the idea is the same, that you can now set up your entire content generation system with AI with make.com right over here. Okay, now I also wanted to quickly show you something, like how can you take this even further, and how what are the different types of automations that you can build. So let me show you one automation that I had built. Don't get scared looking at this automation. This might look a little bit complex, but you don't have to worry about this. Okay, so this is a complex automations which can do a bunch of stuff that I have built for myself. And when you become an expert in automations, you can build automations like this and much more. Okay, so the idea behind any kind of automation that you do is, of course, you need practice, but the first thing is you have to have the understanding in your own head. What is it that you're trying to build? What are the step by step processes that you have to think through when you're building your automation? If it is not clear in your head, it will never be clear on the make.com or any automation platform. First, make it clear in your head. After you make it clear in your head, you set up that complete automation and think through completely in terms of, okay, have I followed all the steps? What are the softwares required? Then use once if it's clear on paper, then you start building. Build it module by module. Look at how I built today. I did not try to build this complex one at a single shot. I built it node by node by node, and I have started exactly from scratch. And in just about an hour, I built this automation while teaching you. Okay, so unless this is the exact same process I build all my automations. I don't make any change. Maybe I go a little faster if I'm building by myself and I'm not teaching, but I build one, I add one module, I run it and see if it is working fine. It makes troubleshooting very easy. That is why when I saw that the route was taking different, I could immediately stop it because I knew exactly where the problem was, because I built it node by node and I knew where the problem was occurring. Okay, so I hope with these tips you have a good head start, a good introductions to the world of automation, right? And I hope you had a great Monday session complementing whatever sessions you had in the mastermind. All right, I see a lot of love. Thank you, folks, and Funny, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dilip. Folks on the chat, let me know how was the session on a scale of 0 to 10. Did it help you all get an understanding of how you can get started with automations? Did it help you all understand how you can get started with automations? Yes, on the chat. If your confidence levels are decent enough, that will allow you to go ahead and build your own automations. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, before we wrap up for the day, and Dilip, thank you so much for being a part of this and doing this session as well. Of course, in spite of you being not completely well, you decided that everybody here needs to learn automations and you showed up. So immensely grateful for that. But folks, before we conclude the entire mastermind, of course, there is an entire workbook that is coming your way. Let me share my screen. I did tell all of you that this is not a skill that you can grasp immediately, right? For a lot of you, you might have gotten slightly overwhelmed. You might not have understood every step that we had taken to be able to build the entire automation and have social media posts go out all automatically. Now, while that is the use case that we took in this particular session, you can go ahead and build automations for any other scenario as well. Dilip has, of course, given a few examples, but you can go ahead and build automations to have these automation scenarios reply back to your emails all automated with an LLM reading through your emails and writing the responses back as well. You can do this for marketing analysis. You can do this for sales analysis. You can do this for your email or CRM analysis if you have that in your organization. So think about what your organizations or what your niche is into and try to come up with use cases for which you can build automations, right? And for all the people who have been wanting to start their own agencies or consultations, automations is one area that is getting the maximum opportunities as of today. And that is why you need to go deep into it. And for you to be able to practice, we have put together an extensive workbook. And inside this workbook, you will see 3 different automation scenarios that you can go ahead and build and practice. And that's not it, folks. As you scroll down in this particular workbook, which will be sent to all of you as well, along with all the resources, you will not only find 3 different automation scenarios, but you will also find all the resources that you would need to collate or you would need to work upon to be able to make the automation scenario successful. So you have all the resources in the form of Google Sheet files and everything around it right here in the linked up in the workbook itself. And as you scroll down, we have also included video tutorials for all of you to go ahead and watch so that you can have these video tutorials on the side while you go ahead and practice that. And trust me when I say this, the best way to learn building automations, be it on any platform, make.com is what we ask people to get started with, because make.com is a visual automation builder, unlike Zapier and unlike N8N, which are slightly more advanced. But whichever automation platform you are picking to go deep into and learn, the best way to learn automations is by replicating a few scenarios yourself first, by watching somebody else do it, so that you go step by step replicating that as well. So this workbook has 3 different automation scenarios. And because I don't want all of you to rush in to complete this entire workbook, there is no submission as well. You do this practice for yourself so that you get hands-on and you can go ahead and build these automations later on as well. Do you think this is helpful? Give me a thumbs up or a heart as a reaction if you think this is absolutely helpful. And what I will do is, I love the reactions that are coming my way. What I will do is I will share this link on the chat directly. Workbook for AI automations. And I would want all of you to keep this open and go ahead and practice these automations as well. Now, before we sign off for the entire day, yesterday, we did give everybody the opportunity to go ahead and book an interview slot, 1v1 interview slot for the AI Generalist Fellowship Program or the AI Engineering Fellowship Program. However, we were able to only open about 150 interview slots yesterday, and I did not expect all the 150 interview slots to run out. And a lot of people ended up reaching out to us over email stating that you were not able to block your 1v1 interview slot. Now, for all the people who could not block your 1v1 interview slot yesterday, what we have done today is we have gone ahead and opened 150 more interview slots for the AI Generalist Fellowship Program. And for those of you who need a quick recap of what the AI Generalist Fellowship Program is, well, it's a 6-month long fellowship program that we conduct inside of Outskill. And in this 6-month long fellowship program, we go very deep into all of the 5 different levels that we spoke of that will help you become an AI generalist. Now, this program is starting in the month of October, towards late October. And for you to get selected for the program, you have to take an interview call, a 1v1 interview call where we will go deep into your background. We would try to understand why is it that you want to spend 6 entire months going slow, going deeper into every level. And if you do get selected after the interview, we will give you the option to enroll into the program, and the enrollment fee of the AI Generalist Fellowship program, it comes to 2 lakh rupees after all the scholarships that we will be applying for the people who get selected from this batch of the mastermind. Of course, this opportunity is not at all for students. It is primarily for all the working professionals and entrepreneurs who would like to go deep into generative AI and have that mentorship and have that support as you go ahead and figure this journey out or try to learn everything in a deeper way, right? Through this automation session as well, you would have realized that it's not too easy to learn and go deep into generative AI, right? Of course, using LLMs, prompt engineering, and all of that is one aspect of it. But the second aspect of it is, of course, AI automations, product building without writing a single line of code, which we saw yesterday, and building AI agents and agentic workflows. These are the three key areas that every AI generalist has to go extremely deep into, and going deep into these areas will only be possible if you get your level 1 foundations and level 2 foundations absolutely right, which is where you learn prompt engineering, you learn about AI workflows, you learn about parameters of large language models that you need to tweak, you learn about how to host these models locally as well. Once you do that, you will have to go deep into AI automations, AI agents, and also products that you can build without writing a single line of code. And that is what we help people learn along with a community inside our fellowship programs. There are two fellowship programs, like I mentioned yesterday. One is, of course, the engineering track, and the other one is the non engineering track. Both of them with a scholarship will come for 2 lakh rupees as the enrollment fee. Of course, that enrollment fee can be broken down into multiple parts, but this is only and only if you get selected. And let me tell you this, our selection criteria for the fellowship programs that we have inside of Outskill, or the selection percentage, stands at 7% for the previous cohort. So out of 100 people who would have applied, we have rejected almost 93 people and selected only 7 people to be a part of the 6-month long program. That is how exclusive we try to keep it, because not everybody has the motivation or the intent or the reason to pursue a 6-month long program, right? That is what the fellowship programs are all about. And all of you today are getting that opportunity to block the 1v1 interview without having to pay the interview booking amount, which is what you will have to do if you go from our website. So the link is on the chat. If you want to go ahead and block an interview slot, the first 150 of you can do that today as well. And you will find a few dates available, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All the 150 slots are spread across all of these dates. And as you click on a date, you can go ahead and choose a time. When you choose a time, we will ask you for a few details about yourself that are going to essentially help us take your interview or speak to you about yourself in the interview or consultation calls, right? And here is where we ask you which track you are really applying for. And if you're confused about whether you should be applying for the coding track or the non coding track, you can go ahead and apply to any of these, and our team will be able to help you understand which direction should you be putting more focus towards based on the goals that you have for your own careers, right? Do you think it's helpful that we are opening this up once again? People who were not able to leverage this opportunity yesterday, give me a thumbs up if you like the fact that we have opened this up. And you can go ahead, and only the first 150 people today as well can go ahead and block your interview slots. And a lot of you also reached out to us about the AI Generalist Fellowship Accelerator program, not the fellowship program, but the 14-day accelerator program that we also spoke about. And while we did have to close the enrollment link yesterday, I know that after attending the AI automation session, some of you might feel that it is better to take support rather than learning everything on your own, right? So we have a few seats that are still available in the AI Accelerator program for the same discounted price that we had spoken about yesterday, which is 95,000 rupees with all the discounts that will give you access to all the bonus tools as well. A lot of you also asked us that whether you will get the bonus tools that we spoke about in the AI Generalist Fellowship Program or the AI Engineering Fellowship Program. Yes, of course, these are partnerships that we have, and every member of Outskill, irrespective of the program they're a part of, is eligible for the bonus partnership tools as well that we would be giving out. But for the fellowship programs, you have to clear the interview and get selected. Only and only if you get selected and you choose to enroll by paying the enrollment fee is when you will be getting access to the coupon codes of the bonus tools. But few people asked us, why do we have two separate tracks? And that was an interesting question, and I wanted to clarify that as well. The 6 month long fellowship is not something that we can do with everybody. And that is the reason why we wanted to have an opportunity inside our umbrella of programs that everybody can also directly take. And that is what the accelerator program helps everybody with, right? Because it's a 14-day journey, primarily a 14-day journey, along with all the yearly updates that we would be sharing across the entire year. The first or the main crux of the AI Accelerator program is a 14-day journey, and we can have people show intent for 14 days completely. And we realized that we don't have to really take interviews for that. But for the 6 month program, we do take interviews because we have seen that people assume that they can commit to something like this for 6 months, but end up not reaching the finishing line at all. So this is what we wanted to open up for all of you today as well. And what I will do at this point of time is to give all of you 3 minutes to go ahead and block your interview slot or choose to block your AI Accelerator programs slot as well. Now, those of you, and let me put a 3 minute timer, and after this, we will be wrapping up for good, right? Just wanted to give you all 3 minutes so that people who want to go ahead and take action can do that at this point of time. But while you do that, just clarifying a few things for the people who have already enrolled into the accelerator program yesterday. Your confirmation emails would have already landed in your inbox, right? The confirmation emails would have come from Razorpay or Stripe, the platforms that you would have chosen to enroll into the program. And the confirmation email would also have come officially from Outskill today in the morning. For whatever reason, if you just give me 1 second. For whatever reason, if you are not able to find the confirmation email in your inbox or your spam folder, please be sure or be aware that within the next 24 hours, our team will reach out to you 1v1 personally to onboard you into the AI Accelerator program or collect the remaining amount from you or give you the options so that you can make the remaining amount and get access to all of your tools and everything around it. This is only and only for the people who have already enrolled into the AI Accelerator program. People who have gone ahead and blocked interviews with us, some of those interviews happened over today. And I heard really good feedback. Of course, I was not able to take any interviews today, but on tomorrow's panel, I will also be there and I would be talking to a few people as well, right? But our team will be reaching out to all of the people who are blocking their interviews as well. I just got a notification from our team that we have about 30 more interview slots available on the link that I have shared. So people who are blocking that, please do be aware that our team will reach out to you 1v1 to inform you of the time and remind you of the time at which you have blocked your interview. If you are blocking your interview, my only request to you is to show up to the interview, because while we have waived out the booking amount for all of you, we would still want you to show up and respect the time of the interviewer as well that we would be placing for your interview that you are going ahead and blocking at this point of time. So this is everything that I wanted to talk about for the people who have already enrolled into the accelerator program and for the people who are booking their interviews for the AI Journalist Fellowship programs. Now, if there is anybody who has already blocked an interview, blocked your seat for the accelerator program, but found the structure of the fellowship programs more interesting, you still have the option to go from the accelerator program to the fellowship programs only and only if you do clear the interview. So taking the interview to participate in the fellowship programs is absolutely mandatory, right? You cannot participate in the fellowship programs without taking the interview. So all the people who already blocked your accelerator program seat, if you want to go into the fellowship program, you will still have to block an interview slot. Tell us, why do you think the accelerator program is not something that you feel is relevant, but the fellowship program is something that you feel could be relevant for you? And once we understand that, if it makes sense for us, we will allow you to change your enrollment from the accelerator program to the fellowship program. Is that clear, everyone? Give me a thumbs up on as a reaction if that is clear for everyone. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I already mentioned this at the beginning of today's session that everybody will be receiving all the resources that we spoke about by tomorrow. The 48 hours that I had asked from all of you yesterday, it ends tomorrow. And by the time it ends, you will all be receiving your resources as well, which is the recordings, the roadmap, and all of the workbooks and all of the session documents as well. All of them put together beautifully in one email that we will be sending out to all of you. And for whatever reason you don't find the email tomorrow, you can always write an email to hi@outskill.com and our team will help you out with all the resources. But don't do that right now. Do that email dropping tomorrow in case you don't find the resources from us by the end of tomorrow. I hope that's clear. Clear, everyone? Give me a thumbs up if that's clear about all the resources that you are supposed to be receiving. I mentioned that you will be receiving these resources along with your certificate as well by the end of tomorrow. Wonderful, wonderful. With that being said, folks, just give me 1 second. I am just checking with our team if all the interview slots are blocked out so that we can wrap up. Perfect. I do see a few enrollments coming in for the AI Accelerator program as well. So those of you who have gone ahead and enrolled into the Accelerator program right now, please be aware that over the next 24 hours, you will be receiving your confirmation emails. All the people who have enrolled just now, I see a bunch of you who have gone ahead and taken the opportunity right now, like Jyoti, Mahadev, Sureka, Priya, Suraj, Aditya, Nitin, Dhruv, Venkatraman, Madhumita. All of you will be receiving your confirmation emails in the next 24 hours. But I think with that being said, we come to the end of the 3 day, I wouldn't even say 2 day generative AI mastermind. It's a 3 day generative AI mastermind that has happened for your batch. Folks, if you had to drop one word to describe your entire experience in this mastermind, what is that one word that you would drop in on the chat? Let me know as we close this out. Mind blowing, fabulous, insane, love it, love it, love it. I just want to remind all of you that as you close out on this journey of the AI mastermind, do not forget to share this entire experience with your friends, your family members, your colleagues. You can do that by asking them or by referring them into this mastermind by sharing this opportunity with them. Keep this link with you so that you can share this with as many like-minded people as you may want to. That is how all of this community continues to become bigger and continues to get together as well. And as we all get together, of course, there will be a lot more opportunities that will be provided from our side to you over the course of time as well. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your emails all throughout. And if in case our emails are not falling in your primary inbox, I would recommend you to move it to your primary inbox, because we will continue to conduct a lot of other workshops as well for our community, even if you have not been able to join our accelerator program or our fellowship programs. If you are not even getting selected for them, we we do conduct a lot of workshops for which we will be extending out the invites to all of you. So please make sure that you're spreading this word out so that the community at Outskill can continue to grow. And I would love to stay connected with all of you as well. And I wish all of you all the very best to take your journeys forward from here. You see, one thing that I will certainly close this entire mastermind out with is that I understand that a lot of you could not have joined the AI Accelerator program, and a lot of you could also get rejected from the fellowship interviews that you would be taking. However, what is not important or what is not mandatory is that you only learn from outskill. You have all learned from us already, right? What is very important is that you continue learning, irrespective of where you are learning from. You might want to learn from us, you might want to learn all by yourself, you might want to learn from any other institution that is available out there as well. What is important is that you continue to learn, not that you stop learning after this mastermind. If you end up being that person who stops learning and stops incorporating AI, then there is nothing that we will be able to do to honestly help you out as well. I see one message from Somesh saying discount. Somesh, we have already done the best that we can, and we don't discount beyond of that for anybody at all. The price remains the same for every member who joins any of our programs, right? With that being said, happy Navratri days as well to all of you. Thank you so much for participating in the mastermind. If there's one thing that I wish for everybody who has participated in this mastermind, that is success. Continue to practice, continue to grow yourself by at least 1% every day, and all of that will continue to compound, and you will see amazing results coming your way as well. I would love to stay connected with all of you and even know about the journeys that you are all taking after this mastermind. So feel free to always ping me on any of my social media channels. But I wish the best for everyone. With that being said, thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful life going forward, probably an AI driven life. And do share the knowledge that you have gotten from this mastermind with others. They might not want to attend the mastermind, but you can very well share the knowledge that you have gained over a lunch or over a coffee or over dinner. That is how everybody across the globe is going to learn AI and start incorporating AI. With that being said,